Live. I'm your host, Maddie Munchkin. As we head into 2022, Splash Live is bringing live and exclusive Greater West Bloomfield news and interviews. We're here to bring you featured stories from local events and businesses to showcase our great community. Splash Live is now daily, Monday through Friday from 9:30 until 10 a.m. on Comcast Channel 15 and AT&T Channel 99. We're also live on CivicCenterTV.com under the live section of your web browser and mobile device. So join us as we take a look at what is happening around our Greater West Bloomfield community. We're going to start with our Person of the Week QR code. Every week we highlight someone from our Greater West Bloomfield community that is making an impact here. We will be taking submissions for our Person of the Week through the QR code on the screen. To submit an entry, you can scan the QR code on the screen, fill out the short Google form with the person's name, reason that they should be recognized for the Person of the Week, and some contact information for them. This is a nomination can be an educator, student, local business, or organization that you think deserves to be recognized as our Person of the Week. We're now going to dive into our local events that are happening in our Greater West Bloomfield community. The first one are our library events from the West Bloomfield Township Public Library. 2022 is here, and the Greater West Bloomfield community with the library has some fun events that are happening. They have started their virtual programming. This includes a variety of interactive events for all ages. Some of those events are happening this week. They have their film discussion series today, Monday, January 10th, on the film Selma. On Thursday and Friday this week, they have a book discussion on the book Bagman by Rachel Maddow. They are also hosting a virtual how-to on Wednesday for ebooks and audiobooks, helping you find those ebooks and audiobooks on their website and learning a little bit about how to access those through the West Bloomfield Township Public Library. They also have a fun take-home craft event. The registration starts today. For those younger ages, if you're looking for something, whether you are a parent or guardian or a babysitter looking for something fun for the kids to do, you can register for those take-home arts and crafts virtual events starting today. Our next event is the Sylvan Salon event. This is their fourth salon. The Sylvan Lake Salon Committee is hosting their first salon this year. These salons work to educate the community and create local dialogue about social issues and things happening in our community. Their fourth salon will be held on January 18th at Board and Brush Studio. They have a 6:15 social and a 7 p.m. presentation by attorney Gabby Silber. She works with the University of Michigan's Innocence Clinic. She will be speaking at the salon about her work with the innocence community and the wrongfully convicted. She will also be exploring some of the stories of the accused and how they are charged and convicted. Capacity is limited to 30, so if you reserve your $5 seat, you can contact Kelly Krause on the Sylvan Lake Salon Committee, and then all of the proceeds will be added to the Sylvan Summer 2022 Concert Fund. Our last ongoing event is also in Sylvan Lake. It is the Sylvan Lake Game Nights. This event is perfect if you're looking for something fun to do this winter. Whether you go alone or with friends, the Sylvan Lake Game Nights are a great way to socialize safely with your neighbors and friends. Sylvan Lake Game Nights take place every Wednesday when there is not a Sylvan Lake board meeting in the community center. They start at 5:30 p.m. and will go to about 9 p.m. in the community center. This event is open to Sylvan Lake residents, and you're welcome to bring family and friends to get together and play games at the Sylvan Lake Community Center. You can bring any games that you'd like to play. There will also be games provided as well. This is a great way to get together with your neighbors and community members this winter. So if you're a resident there in Sylvan Lake, make sure to stop by every Wednesday when there is not a Sylvan Lake board meeting in the community center. If you have an event you would like us to feature, you can send us a message on our social media pages at Civic Center TV and Facebook at Civic Center TV 15. We're now going to check out a new business here in West Bloomfield that opened up in early December. Saladworks Frutta Bowls opened up on December 10th, right off of Orchard Lake Road. We talked to owner Justin Hiller about the opening of their business and the different types of options that they offer there for breakfast and lunch. So let's go take a look at the new opening of Frutta Bowls in Saladworks.
A new healthy fast food option has opened up here in West Bloomfield. Saladworks Frutta Bowl opened up in early December off of Orchard Lake Road, and we got to talk to owner Justin Hiller about their new options and what they can give to the West Bloomfield area.
Very excited to be able to bring both Saladworks and Frutta Bowls to the Michigan market. I am the first co-brand of Saladworks and Frutta Bowls, and so Saladworks is the nation's leading fast casual entree salad franchise. And Frutta Bowls is a concept that's structured around specialty acai, kale, and dragon fruit bowls. So it's a smoothie base bowl.
We visited Saladworks and Frutta Bowl to talk with Justin about their grand opening and how business has been since they opened.
December 10th was our grand opening, and it was a lot of fun and very exciting in the store. We had, at 9:30 in the morning, we had our official lettuce cutting. So I had a really nice branded table, and we chopped a piece of the first slice of lettuce happened right there at the front door, and we had a rush of about 100 people that came in, and they had a chance to spin a wheel for all kinds of fun swag. They had balloons and had a lot of kids activities going on, and everybody got to finally get a taste of what it's like to experience Saladworks and a Frutta Bowls in the state of Michigan. So I was very excited to be the first co-brand between Saladworks and Frutta Bowls here, and I hope to expand the concept and give people that great opportunity to be able to create your own salads and sandwiches and paninis and smoothie bowls like acai, a dragon fruit, the greens bowl. Nobody else is doing the dragon fruit bowls quite like us, so it's a great way to experience something light and a little bit of sweet, and it can be a meal, it could be a snack, and I'm very excited to bring that to the West Bloomfield area, which is my home base. I grew up right here in Franklin and went to school here at Groves, and so this is my community, and I'm excited to be able to offer healthy, fresh food to them. The create your own salads are by far the most popular option. We have over 65 ingredients for people to choose from. So Saladworks is all about being original. It's about exploring your own creativity. So you're vegetarian, you want to follow keto, you follow all the different lifestyles, we could do that. But it doesn't even have to be healthy. If you want to come in for a buffalo blue sandwich loaded with ranch and bacon, by all means do that. I myself will sometimes do that too, because life is all about exploration and moderation and doing a little bit of everything, and we can meet all of that.
If you're looking for a new place to grab lunch, make sure to check out Saladworks and Frutta Bowl, located off of Orchard Lake Road right here in West Bloomfield. Reporting for the Splash Live, I'm Maddie Muschin.
Saladworks in Frutta Bowl is the perfect place to go get a healthy or not so healthy breakfast and lunch option. It opened here December 10th in West Bloomfield, right off of Orchard Lake Road, in the same complex where Kroger and Uptown Parthenon is. We're going to take a short break, but when we return, we'll be joined by West Bloomfield Parks Naturalist Annabelle Raine to talk about their live animal ambassador and their snowshoe rental program that they're having now that we have a lot of snow on the ground. So don't go anywhere. After the break, we're going to talk to Annabelle Raine.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live.
This message brought to you by FEMA. Home fires occur most often in winter. Keep anything that can catch fire at least 3 feet from heating equipment. And never use an oven to heat your home. Stay in the kitchen when frying, grilling, or broiling food. Turn space heaters off when you leave the room or go to bed. Make sure all vents are clear of snow and ice to allow carbon monoxide to vent outside. Have your furnace, heating system, and chimneys serviced each year by a qualified professional. Learn more at www.usfa.fema.gov.
Teens a day die from texting and driving. Don't text and drive.
And now, back to the Splash Live.
Welcome back to the Splash Live. I'm your host, Maddie Muschin. It's now time for a new segment here on the Splash Live. This monthly segment is where we are joined by West Bloomfield Parks Naturalists to talk about the amazing programs that they have up and running, as well as some of the fun things in nature that we can see right here in West Bloomfield. So we are joined by Annabelle Raine. She is one of those West Bloomfield Parks Naturalists here to talk to us this morning. Thank you so much for joining us, Annabelle.
For having me here today. How are you doing?
I'm good. So let's start off first by explaining your role as a West Bloomfield Parks and Recreation Naturalist, how you get involved with West Bloomfield Parks, and how long you've been with them here in the position here.
Of course, yeah. So I've been here for almost 2 years at this point. I moved here from North Dakota to get back into the environmental education scene, get back to doing what I love. And there are 3 naturalists of us here. So my specific role is to work with private nature appointments. It's field trips, family groups, things of that sort. And then the other half of my job is to care for all the animals that we have that live here. So we have 8 reptiles and amphibians. And that is a big part of my job, is taking care of them and making sure they have everything they need to be happy and healthy.
And Annabelle, one of those animals that you have here is the live animal ambassador. So it looks like you have the garter snake there in your hands. Can you tell us a little bit about the garter snake and maybe some facts and information that we should know about that garter snake?
Yeah, absolutely. So starting off, what you'll notice is that this is not the normal coloring of a garter snake that you would see out here in Michigan. The garter snakes that we're used to have a darker body color that's brown to black, and they have yellow stripes going down them. This little guy that I have here is albino. That just means that it is missing the pigment and the color that a snake would normally have. Makes it a little bit different, would make it more difficult to survive in the wild because they can't blend in as well if they don't have those colors that they have in the wild. Now, with it being cold here this month in January, reptiles, which this snake is, are cold-blooded. They get their warmth from the environment. And with it being this cold, obviously, they're not going to be very active. So what garter snakes will do is they will gather underground in hundreds and thousands in crevices and caves. And that's where they will spend their winters together. So if you can imagine, at the start of the fall, they all kind of move into these dark caves and gather together. And they'll do what's similar to hibernating for mammals. It's called brumation. And it's very similar because their heart rate slows down, metabolism slows down, but they're not exactly sleeping. They will be active throughout the winter. They just can't come up above ground because it's a little bit too cold. So that's what our garter snakes are doing right now during this time of year.
And Annabelle, obviously your garter snake that you have there is pretty active, hanging out in your hands there. Can you tell us a little bit about the Live Animal Ambassador program and what the point of it is in the West Bloomfield parks for the naturalists to kind of give some information and educate the West Bloomfield community about those animals that we have here?
Of course, yeah. So you touched on a really big part of it, which is just educating the public. So the big bonus of having animal ambassadors is that we can use them to educate the public. So a lot of what goes into their care is making sure they're comfortable around humans and socialized. So we spend a lot of time with our animals, which is why we can hold them and they're this comfortable because they're very used to us in our presence, because we want the public and the animal to feel comfortable when we're in that education setting. And it's a really great opportunity not only to make that connection with the public, but also maybe work on some fears they may have too. So I'd say that the animal I have here is probably the one people fear the most out of all of our animal ambassadors. But once people really get to see the snake up close and get to know it, they realize all of the fun adaptations and perks that they have, and that they're really not to be feared. It's just you have to be educated.
And then Annabelle, as well as those live animal ambassadors, the West Bloomfield Parks also has some fun programming this winter, specifically that snowshoe program that I was talking about before. Can you give us a little bit of info on that, and if a West Bloomfield resident was looking to snowshoe in the trails during the parks, how would they get involved with that, with those snowshoe rentals?
Yeah, of course. So we have a few things going on with snowshoes in February. That's our big month for snowshoeing. So we try to do rentals if we have enough snow. We usually need to have at least 3 or more inches of snow to have a really good snowshoeing experience. If we do get enough, we will do rentals that you can come do through our office. You get the snowshoes for 2 hours at a time, and you can take them out on the trails behind the Civic Center. We also have a couple of fun events coming up that will be led by a naturalist. One of those is Snowshoe with Your Sweetie. It's a fun couples event that we put on for people that are 18 years and older. You get to sit around a campfire and make some snacks while learning about how animals mate and how their love life relates to ours. And then you get to go out on the trail and snowshoe and enjoy all of the winter wildlife. And then another one that we have coming up is our senior snowshoe hike. So that's for 50 and up, and it's an opportunity for a like-minded group of people to come together with one of our other naturalists and head out on the trail and get that fun snowshoeing experience. And if you are looking to register for these things or go on the interest list so that you're aware when we are doing rentals, you can do that through our website, which is wbparks.org, or you can call our front desk and they can get you all registered and answer any questions that you have. And you can do that at 248-472-5255. 888-451-1900.
So fun and some great events as we head into the snow and the cold months in 2022. Before we wrap up, Annabelle, is there anything else that you'd like to share with us, either on the naturalist side of West Bloomfield Parks or something with those programs?
Yeah, of course. Well, so something that we're doing as a staff now is we've started our green team. It's our goal as a staff to become greener and have greener practices, both throughout our programs in the office and to educate the public. So if you ever want to check out our social media, especially Facebook, we're posting monthly green tips to help you just start to make those small changes in your life that will help make the planet healthier.
Very exciting. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Annabelle.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Once again, I was joined by West Bloomfield Parks and Recreation naturalist Annabelle Raine to tell us a little bit about that Garter Snake and their snowshoe programs that they're having up in 2022. And as 2022 is in full swing, we wanted to ask our staff and the staff at West Bloomfield Town Hall to reflect on 2021 by describing it in one word, a difficult task to sum up an entire year. But Splash reporter Calvin Brown has those reflections for us from our staff here at Civic Center TV, as well as the staff at West Bloomfield Town Hall. So let's go check it out.
I've got another question. If you could describe 2021 in one word, what would it be? Let me think of a word. Mine would be long. I really wish it ended sooner. But what about you guys?
Chaotic. It's just a weird year across the board. Just a little bit of everything that could be weird, that could go wrong, kind of did. I think across the board for everyone, once again.
2021 was depressing. It was hard for me personally because I had to put my dog to sleep at the very end of last year, so I'm still kind of getting used to not having her at my side. But yeah, just depressing because I was hoping COVID would be further gone, and it's still hanging in there, and new variants and new variants and new variants, so yeah.
I think chaotic would be a good word, but I don't mean that in a negative way. There was just a lot of personal change that happened in my life. And it was a little scary at times, but at the same time, now that it's all over with, it's probably one of the best years I've ever had. It turned out to be a really good thing. So,
My one word to describe 2021 would be new, because I did a lot of new things that scared me and created new paths for me to head into 2022.
Adaptive. I've had to learn how to adapt to a lot of different situations and scenarios.
I would say a word to describe 2021. I would say inspiring, because we got through a tough spot that we might still be in, and we're figuring our way out of it, and that's pretty inspiring.
Unpunctual, because I was late to almost everything.
Always with the great answers, West Bloomfield. Thank you so much. I love asking you guys crazy, wacky, and fun questions. But I'll have to save it for next time on Testing the Waters. Woo!
Thank you so much. Great answers for those staff members here at Civic Center TV, as well as those staff members at the West Bloomfield Town Hall. We're going to take a short break, but when we return, we'll talk with Ryan West, who's the principal at Roosevelt Elementary, and Daniel Spitzley, who is the principal at Doherty Elementary, regarding the kindergarten roundup. So don't go anywhere. We'll talk to them after the break.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
And now, back to the Splash, live.
Welcome back to the Splash Live. I'm your host, Maddie Muschin. Today I am joined by Jennifer Bennett, who is the principal at Lakers Online, and Daniel Spitzley, who is the principal at Doherty Elementary here in the West Bloomfield School District. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, everybody.
Great to be here. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us. Excited to talk to you this morning.
So before we talk about Kindergarten Roundup, as a number of cases of COVID are rising in the area, could you guys just talk a little bit about how COVID is impacting both of your schools? Obviously, Jennifer, you are the principal for Lakers Online, so your day-to-day might look a little bit different than Daniel's, but if you guys just wanted to give us a little bit about how COVID is impacting schooling for those elementary school kids right now.
I'll speak to Doherty first, obviously. Being in person, I guess your question was the impact on how things are going right now. If you are a student in the building, the day-to-day isn't much different than how we started the year. We have students that are obviously wearing masks as we are in the building. We have a number of COVID protocols for spacing during our lunchtime. Also, if a student were to have a snack time, teachers are using wider spaces before it got literally cold outside, spending time outside. So from a student's perspective, their day-to-day hasn't changed. As the cases continue to rise, we have our office staff as well as the community as a whole. We just ask to be very vigilant in reporting of a lot of those things so that we can do our due diligence with contact tracing just to make sure that we're keeping everybody as safe as possible. So from a student standpoint, they're still masked, learning in class all day long. I would say our staff and our community, we've asked to be a little more vigilant in reporting. That way we're keeping everybody as safe as we can.
I would just say with Lakers Online, although our students are not in person, we still have families that are suffering from COVID and still need some extra support. So as families share out with us that they have, COVID, since our model is online and is live so we call it live or synchronous learning as well as asynchronous or kind of offline learning, families do have some flexibility to use our online management system. So students are able to get caught up and have, we offer office hours. So we are, continuing our instructional model, but of course we are seeing that, affecting our students as well.
And then for both of you, we can start talking about Kindergarten Roundup. Obviously, parents are looking for a place for their students to get a all-around education, whether that is in person, online with COVID, making sure that their kindergartners are able to socialize safely this year. So Daniel, I don't know if you wanted to start off talking about Kindergarten Roundup, and then Jennifer, you can follow up on that.
Absolutely. So I guess the details, Thursday, January 20th at 7 o'clock, we'll host a webinar. And within that webinar will be a host of West Bloomfield staff and personnel to address any questions or concerns anybody does have. We'll start with kind of what does it look like? What does a COVID safe, friendly kindergarten classroom look like? We'll highlight a little bit of some of the services. We'll talk about our K+ program. We also will speak to some of the other outside services. We also will have representation from transportation, from after school and before school care. So we try to bring in all sorts of different angles to address any questions that might have, and also to give kind of a look inside the lens of what it'd be like to be a kindergarten at Doherty, at Roosevelt, at Lakers Online, or at Gretschko for the day, to give parents a good idea of what their students may be coming into.
Yeah, I would just echo that. And then I know I remember when I sent my kindergartner off to school, we try to give parents as much information as possible so they kind of know what those first days look like, some things they can do at home before to prepare their child, like, practicing zipping up coats and being responsible for their things and little, life skills. So we'll give some of those hints and tricks and some resources in our community, like our West Bloomfield Library as well. So there's lots of great community resources that we are connected to. So and as online, we'll share kind of the difference, but with online school, we really do partner with our parents, especially at the young ages. A lot of our kindergarten families, have a caretaker with the student throughout the day, supporting them, and so that they're successful, just like you would in school, being there next to them to support them.
And then Jennifer, we can start out with you for this question. Looking at sending your kindergartner to school, it's a very big decision for a parent or guardian, especially now during COVID with the uncertainty during schooling, and maybe those children maybe have not gotten some socialization skills. So do you have any advice for parents that are looking at schools for their kindergartner for next year that you would share maybe during this kindergarten roundup?
Yes, I would say that, a big part of kindergarten is, that social interaction. So, families have that opportunity to choose what's best for them with an in-school or an online option. A lot of the learning online looks very similar we're singing and we're learning all of the same curriculum using the same resources. But that social interaction, learning how to take turns, how to problem solve, how to play, all of those, are limited online, and they really do have a lot of that opportunity in person. So our schools have found a safe way to do that is we're all learning how to deal with COVID in this time. So I would say that, you just have to choose what's best for your family and for your child, and knowing that that education is so important and those early experiences are just very important to them.
And then
I would simply echo what Jennifer had to say, and I would simply add that if going through this process, if you still find yourself with questions or looking for additional insight, please don't hesitate to reach out. We have buildings filled with eager staff and teachers and administrators that are happy to maybe give some guidance, provide some additional insight. If there's a question you have that hasn't been addressed or answered that might help decide one way or the other, we'll provide as much input as we can.
Amazing. Well, thank you both for joining us this morning and giving us a little bit of background into that kindergarten roundup that's happening on the 20th. Excuse me.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Once again, I was joined by Jennifer Bennett. She is the principal for Lakers Online, and Daniel Spitzley, who's a principal for Doherty Elementary. That's going to do it for today's show. Thank you so much to Annabelle Raine and Daniel Spitzley and Jennifer Bennett for joining us this morning. Special thanks to our Zoom producer, Jared Clark, for coordinating the Zooms and making sure all of our guests joined us this morning. As always, thank you to Calvin Brown, our board operator, for making the show possible each and every morning. Thank you so much for joining me this morning as we explored all the people and events going on in our greater West Bloomfield community. We'll be here Monday through Friday, so make sure to watch any interviews and stories you missed by visiting civiccentertv.com. You can watch them online in HD under our Splash Live tab on the website. So if you go to civiccentertv.com, go to our on-demand section, hit Splash Live. You can see all of our featured stories as well as all of our interviews from today's show as well as our past shows from the Splash Live. As always, you can make sure to tune in on civiccentertv.com on Comcast Channel 15 and AT&T Channel 99 Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 10 a.m. You can catch up on what's going on in our greater West Bloomfield community, some of those fun current events that we're having, those West Bloomfield Township events, virtual programming that they have, as well as the Sylvan Lake salons and game nights that are ongoing. We have all those events up on our website on the early morning part of our show, as well as our Person of the Week QR code that we feature every week here on The Splash. You can also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram at Civic Center TV, and on Facebook at Civic Center TV 15. For all of our friends in Sylvan Lake, Orchard Lake, Keogh Harbor, and West Bloomfield, I'm Maddie Mushton. Thank you for watching The Splash Live.